Hello everyone, and welcome to Sunup. I'm Lyndall Stout. Much needed rain finally arrived in Oklahoma this week, providing some relief for the ongoing drought. Now the question, what effect, if any, will it have on the state's all-important wheat crop? For the answer, Sunup's Dave Deacon caught up with our Extension small grain specialist, Jeff Edwards.
Well, Jeff, parts of Oklahoma actually had about 5 inches of rain, and that's good for filling up the ponds, but that could be a little difficult getting the wheat out of the field.
Yeah, Mother Nature has a real cruel sense of humor. We went all season without any rain, and now for our wheat crop, we never complain about rain, but for our wheat crop, it's too late to really help us out through most of the state. This rain could help us out in northern Oklahoma and the Panhandle, help with test weight, just going ahead and finishing that crop out. But where the bulk of the rain fell there in southern Oklahoma, it was really too late to help with the wheat crop and could actually hurt us a little bit.
So when you say it could hurt us, let's talk about that. It could affect the test weight.
It can affect the test weight. So what happens with wheat whenever it's in the head and it gets wet, it swells, it kind of puffs up, and then whenever it dries back out, it shrinks back down. It's a little bit larger than it was before, and we can't pack as much into the same size container. Test weight is a density measurement, it's mass over volume, so if the wheat kernels are swelled a little bit, then you're going to have more of a volume there for the same mass, and test weight decreases. So as a result, there could be some dockage at the elevator, and especially in a year like this one where we already have problems with test weight and low test weight wheat, we don't need anything that's going to reduce it further.
Okay, and the moisture in the field, that could also produce some problems with sprouting, correct?
It can if it stays wet long enough. If the ground becomes muddy and we're delayed with our harvest and we're out for a few weeks and we have cool and damp weather, it can cause some sprouting issues in the head where the wheat goes ahead and tries to germinate in the head. We have some varieties that are a little more prone than others. Hopefully that's not going to be an issue. Again, it would have to stay wet for longer than what we have right now for it to become an issue.
Okay, now leading up to this last rain, quality of wheat fields across the state weren't too great. Are you hearing anything aside from that?
No, it's still not very good. The reports of those initial harvests that we had before Memorial Day in southern Oklahoma were yields in the 15 to maybe 20 bushels per acre range, test weights around 56, 58 pounds per bushel, which isn't bad, but we have to keep in mind that those are the fields that were left. A lot of the fields were zeroed out, so that's the best that we're getting. And when that is your best, then it's not a good situation.
So we're actually ahead of schedule as far as harvest goes?
We are. We were worried back earlier in the spring that we would be a couple of weeks behind. Our wheat was delayed, and drought and hot weather sped us along. Somebody in Oklahoma always harvests wheat before Memorial Day, and even though we had an early Memorial Day this year, we went ahead and harvested some wheat. This rain's going to have us out of the field for a little bit. As soon as those warm temperatures and those drying winds return, though, I think we're going to be well into harvest, and it will progress very quickly throughout Oklahoma when those warm temperatures return, because we have wheat that's in the hard dough stage and it just needs to be finished off.
Okay, thank you much. Jeff Edwards, small grain specialist here at Oklahoma State University.